Shalom. First and foremost, before I get started with my lesson, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Akadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video will be edifying and to the point. And the topic that I want to get into is women and children. Women and children. And the inspiration of this video, is from, this older gentleman that I know, that I'm good friends with. And he ended up having a kid. Well, let me start over. So he ended up having a kid with this woman, right? And the woman ended up getting with him because he was basically, her financial support. And they did have a, I guess you would want to say, a connection or something. And really, to be honest, that's really questionable, because if that was the case, then she wouldn't have done the shit that she's doing now. But I'm gonna get to that. So, they've been together for some time. They've been together for some time, and he ended up falling sick. He ended up getting sick. He ended up having to quit his job. He thankfully had a 401k to where he can retire. He can retire comfortably. So he has income coming in or whatnot on two sides of the spectrum. I ain't gonna get too much into his business, but nevertheless, he got a 401k, and his hard work, paid off in that sense. Now, again, he ended up getting sick. And he had to go to a situation to where he was in a hospice facility where once you get sick, these nurses and whatever, they start to take care of you or not. And the woman that he was with, or the woman that he had children with, they're not really seeing each other. They're not seeing each other. They talking over the phone, but they're not seeing each other. And ultimately, the woman, she draws sick of that shit. She draws sick of it. She she ain't got no man at the house. She's dealing with the kids. The kids, are acting out because the father's not there and all of that, because really and truly it has the effect on the kids, not seeing their father. They talking to him, but they're not seeing him. So, time goes on, and now, she ended up start talking to another guy, a way younger guy than he is. They're at least 10, I ain't gonna say, but they're at least 10 years apart from each other, in age. So, she looking for the next guy, And mind you, she financially okay, because, the guy set it up to where, she's able to, his kids are able to get money to be able to take care of any financial issues that they have. But the woman, it's like, fuck her, death to be part through sickness and health and all that other stuff, however they say that shit, she like to hell with that, she like to hell with that, I need somebody else, and that's kind of where I'm going with this. Is like, a woman will fucking destroy everything for her fucking feelings. A woman will destroy everything that she's fucking built, that the man, let me say this, not she's built, but the man's built just because she feels some type of way, because her feelings is fucked up, all right? She'll fucking crash that shit into the ground, all right? And just listening to her and thinking about it, you know, that shit makes me angry, man. You know, that shit really makes me angry and mad, you know, because in our culture and our history, this shit is unacceptable. Honestly, you know, even though she hasn't technically, you know, even met the guy or slept with the guy yet, you know, it's vile, it's off as fuck, you know what I mean? And, you know, it's a scary situation, man, you know, because, you know, you think about yourself, you want kids, you know, you want to have a family, and then you hear and you see the shit that these women be doing, all right? And you be like, man, is it even worth it? Is it even worth having kids? You know, then you got the government, you know, they can get in tied and mixed up in your shit. You know, God forbid that y'all, you know, y'all don't work out and, you know, now she got you on fucking child support or some shit, man. It's crazy out here, man. It's crazy and it's scary. The mentality of these fucking women and society and how it's molding these women to be. All right, how it's molding women to be and how it has molded women to be, and reason and being, you know, women thinking that they don't need a man, they can do it by themselves, and, you know, being master manipulators and, you know, just using men for their money. And I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. All right, having some other man, you know, raise your child, you know, especially being a man of the Lord, if some shit don't work out, like, what the fuck is he teaching them? You know what I mean? Obviously, he's not teaching them the truth. All right? Or, you know, these niggas are fucking wicked. You know, they're around your daughter. If you got a daughter, you know what I mean? With all the things that be going on. Shit, Lord forbid. You know, Lord forbid. You know, there's so many scenarios, man. And it's one thing that a brother said, man, having a family requires, all right, he said meat, which is money, attention, or should I say money, energy, attention, and time. And all those things, all right, you're required to give to the body. You know, all of those things are really what is to be given to the body. It's to really be given to the brotherhood, your time to the truth. You know what I mean? Because we are to, you know, basically stack up our spiritual riches, man. You know? And there's a balance within everything, but at the same time, it's like, why even pour your spirit into this place when there's so many, what is it, how they say that, man? When there's, fuck, I can't, the thought escapes me, man. You know, like whenever you listen to a commercial, right, and they talk about how great their product is, or how great you can, you know, you can get this house or you can get this car, and at the end they speak all fast, you know what I'm saying? The fine print, all right? The small letters. In the small letters is, oh shit, you know, she might get sick and tired and just fucking leave, you know? She might just decide to say, man, fuck it, I'm just tired. Her emotions could just change within a day. All right, or a second. All right, or she can be doing some shit behind your back. You know what I mean? Or, you know, you can have a family and your fucking kids become little niggas. menace to society, man. You know, you can lead them in the direction that they supposed to be. You know, the scriptures say, train up a child in the way that he shall go, and he shall not depart. But there's so much outside influence of wickedness, all right? It's tempting to these kids to be what they see that is popular. And you know, you may teach your child the truth, or you might tell them about the truth, but to be honest, they don't want to fucking hear that. They don't want to hear it. You know, they don't want to hear about the truth. They don't want to be a part of that. You know, but they might listen, you know, just to satisfy you, so you can shut the hell up. But honestly, they don't want to listen to that, man. You know? So you just gotta, you know, basically be like, whatever, man. You know, you gotta leave it into the hands of the Lord. You know, or your woman, or your girl, or your daughter might become a fucking whore. You know, multiple baby daddies, multiple boyfriends. You know, so this place is not our fucking rest, man. It's not our rest. All right, and then you got the woman. All right, shit, y'all depart. You know how that is. She's gonna be looking for financial support to be supporting the children, and you may want to take your children, but she ain't with that. She want to take them just for the simple fact that she can make you suffer because shit didn't work out with y'all. You know what I mean? Because that's how fucking women is. They're like children, man. All right, they'll just do some little petty ass shit just to get to you, man. So, man, we need to be fucking delivered from this place, man. This place is hell. It's vexing. Like the scriptures say, man, you know, the righteous men are vexed at the conversations that they hear and the shit that they see. That shit vexed my soul just thinking about the shit, man. Shalakia for my language, y'all. You know, I don't really like to, you know, use foul language. You know what I mean? Because people like to use you, say what, offender for a word, man. Oh, look, he's using a word. So, you know, I really don't like to say too much. Like, use them type of words. But, yeah, man, it makes it scary, man. It makes it real scary to have a kid here. Or your kid can become a goddamn mo or a lesbian. Ain't that crazy? Check it out. So, you know, I got a mother-in-law. She has some daughters, right? She got some daughters. And, you know, I seen this little girl been raised. You know what I'm saying? I seen her being raised. You know, and, you know, they don't necessarily know the truth, but she was in a loving household, blase, blase. But this girl said, you know, do you know that I'm, you know, G-A-Y? And I looked at her, and I'm like, so you're happy? Because mind you, she don't even know, you know, that's what the word means. It means to be happy. And I'm saying, so you're happy? Is that what you're saying? She said, no, I like girls. And I'm like, well, okay. You know, that I saw, you know, I'm not gonna really too much go into that, but you know, me and the other guy, which is my brother-in-law, was trying to tell her, like, you know, that's not what that means. You know, but nevertheless, you know, it's just an example that I'm bringing out that this is the type of shit that goes on here, man. This is what you gotta deal with. This shit's a headache. It's giving me a headache just thinking about this right now. This is a wicked world, man. We need, it's like, it really makes you be like, man, how long, Lord? You know? The brother from my camp always say that, and it's like, oh man, how, like, really, how long, Lord? How long? How long, how much more can you take, how much more can we take before you just, obliterate this damn place, man? So yeah, man, this place is working on a very high level of wickedness, man, and we just cannot wait to get out of here, man. Just cannot wait to get out of here, man. It's just all hell, bro. It's just all hell. And we seek for this place to go down, man. Right? It brings you honestly joy to your heart, to your mind, to your soul. All right, knowing that this place can go down at any moment. All right, pertaining to how these prophecies are basically booming at the moment. So, that's pretty much what's on my mind, man. Spiritual thoughts, whatever. So, I'm going to go ahead and end it on out. Again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem HaKadosh. Double honors to the elders and apostles, Great Millstone. Salutations and blessings to the Akim that do this work in truth and sincerity. Until the next time, Lord willing, I say Shalom.